Hello Gasheads and welcome back to the Rovers Report, where as you can tell I am still buzzing from Saturday's result. You join us today in our second episode of the Rovers Dream Team, where we're joined by Charlie Haynes from OneRoversVlogs. If you haven't checked him out, I'm sure you have, he's very popular amongst Rovers fans. I'll leave all of his stuff in the description below, so make sure to go and check him out. And let's get into the video. Right, so just a quick disclaimer, annoyingly some of the footage was lost for this, so you'll join us in the video after he's chosen his goalkeeper, which is James Belshaw, and his right back, which is Michael Smith. Where you join us in the video, he's speaking about Michael Smith, so yeah, enjoy it from there. I'm sorry that it cut out at the start, but yeah, the rest of the video is fine, so enjoy it.
6-1 or something. But he got his goal on his debut and has gone on to do very well, and for Hearts, and make a really good career out of it.
Mm-hmm. Is there only one man for your left back? Or is there?
Yeah. I think it's got to be. To be honest, I think it's got to be Lee Brown. And it was weird because even though he done really well for us and he was really consistent, there's still a lot of fans even to this day that don't think he was that good. But for me, he's obviously stayed with us. I think he was with us 7 years, 8 years, even maybe longer. I can't remember. He's just been so good. So many good moments, of course, and then you got the Dagenham moment, which is just insane, But yeah, for me, it's got to be Lee Brown. He scored some really important goals. He was obviously good at set pieces as well. He should score a lot of free kicks and penalties and stuff like that. But yeah, for me, it's just still weird now to this day when people speak about him, and I know he's obviously got that moment, but yeah, I think he was really good. I love Lee Brown. A lot of important moments for us, including, of course, the goal against Dagenham, which was just madness.
Definitely, mate. There's not really many other choices at left back either, is there?
Nah, not really.
But another question as well. It's a hard one, this. Would you put Saturday over that Lee Brown day?
Tough
enough. I'll put you on the spot a little bit. I know that.
Yeah, tough question. I mean, it was sort of. I think the only annoying thing about Saturday is that the fact that obviously, Northampton had already finished, and we basically knew by the time, and then obviously the players got. I didn't think the ref needed to do it for that long to take the players off. It's sort of obviously the scenes after were amazing, but I still think that Lee Brown goal, the way that
it's that instant moment, isn't it? Just
instant moment, and it was so late as well. And I think that Lee Brown one just edges it, just because, in the moment, I know it was obviously amazing on Saturday scoring the 7 goals, but yeah, for me, it's still that moment for Lee Brown, and the way we had all these chances. Their keeper, I think it was Mark Cousins, had an absolute stormer of a game, and then Lee Brown to go and do that. Yeah, I still think it tops it.
Yeah, I think I'd probably agree with that, mate. So moving on to your centre backs, do you want to just go for both of them, and you can talk us through it?
Yeah, both of them. Again, it's pretty tough. But for me, I'm going to go with a right footer and a left footer just to equal it up. First one is probably, I'll go for the left-sided centre back first. Basically, a leader. He was an absolute tank. Head it, sort of kick it centre back, sort of an old-fashioned one. But it's got to be Steve Elliott for me. I absolutely loved him, Steve Elliott. He just knew, of course, he was a local lad as well. I remember, forgetting his football career and his time at Rovers. I remember when he come to my school when I was in secondary school, and met him as well, and see him a few times at Rovers. But for Rovers, I just loved him. He was just an absolute tank. No one wanted to go near him. He'd just get it. He was so solid, great course heading, scored quite a few goals as well. And for me, sort of around that time, it's got to be for me Steve Elliott. Just a
proper centre back, isn't he, mate?
Yeah,
proper centre back. Who are you pairing him up with?
I'm going to go with Tom Lockyer.
Nice.
Again, it was crazy, of course, when he first come in sort of to the team, he was being played everywhere. Centre mid, DM, centre back, right back. He was sort of, took him a while to get, to know exactly where he wanted to play. But after that, he was just great. He was just great. amount of time spent, and of course went on to be captain as well. Again, scored a lot of important goals. I remember the one that sticks out to me was the one at Grimsby away.
The P roller, wasn't it?
The P roller, and it was such a massive result at the time. But again, a lot of other moments, and the longevity, the amount of times he was at Rovers, and when he found his spot and his position, he was quality. I love Lockyer.
Yeah, that's a good shout. He was absolutely key to that team, wasn't he, when we were going up the divisions?
Yeah,
alongside Steve Elliott. That's not a bad centre back pairing at all, is it?
No, not at all.
Do you want to go left mid?
Yeah, left mid. I'm going to go for one that we've had this season. I know people might say, there's a lot of left mids, and for me, I'm going to go with Elliot Anderson.
Nice.
I'm going to go with Elliot Anderson.
I don't mind that at all, mate. I think that's a good shout, actually. Who would be the other ones that you'd consider in that position?
For me, I've got two. One is Jeff Hughes.
Yes, yeah.
I love Jeff Hughes. The amount of quality goals. He was obviously a massive part of the team. Obviously the few years that he was here, and also Carriol is another one. Of course, we didn't have him that long, but in that terrible team, a lot of terrible players in that team that Buckle had, but he was I loved him. Just the pace. The trickery again as well. Something off the pitch that I will always remember him for. It was on my mum's birthday. Of course, at the time, what was that? 10, 11 years ago now. Time just flies. But it was in this pub called the King's Head in Redfield, and we was in there for my mum's birthday. And who walks through the door? Carriol, and he started seeing it was my mum's birthday, and he was singing happy birthday to my mum, and that just lovely, also sticks into it. But I loved Carriol as well. But Elliot Anderson is just unbelievable.
It's just his natural talent. I honestly can't think of seeing any players at Rovers with the natural talent that he has. I honestly don't like. Can you think of anyone else?
Not really. No, like you said, it's just his talent, the way, and as well. You see a lot of youngsters nowadays that think they're amazing, but he's so humble as well. He's quite shy as well off the pitch, but on the pitch he's just got so much quality, and you think about how massive that addition was, really, because I mean, even me and loads of Rovers fans probably didn't have a clue like who this kiddie was, and I call him a kiddie because still 19.
Yeah, and that's mad, that, isn't it? He's not, because
I know.
Look at him, and obviously you can see that he's got his dazzling feet and stuff, but he's strong as well, isn't he?
Exactly.
Season pros that in League Two, bouncing them off.
Yeah, and it's just everything about him. And for, I think he's, of course, it was 7 goals, 6 assists in 21 games, and he's just been just that added spark and added bit of quality that we've needed. And fair play for Barton to getting him in, and the way he's been scoring. I think he's won us 6 points, 2 match winners. Of course, he got the equaliser at Tranmere, and of course to be fitting to of course hopefully he comes back, because again we in the last few days we've seen Barton wants him again, and hopefully that can happen now we've gone up. But to get that 7th final goal, amazing. Just I love him. I know he's not only half a season, but he's shown us, all of us fans, and it excites everyone, and it has to be Elliot Anderson for me.
I wasn't feeling optimistic at all about him coming back. Then I sort of thought about it, and you think if Newcastle loan him to us for 6 months in League One, see how he does. If he continues to excel, it's probably quite good for his development. Do you know what I mean? And then after January, put him into a Championship team, and it's just like a good trajectory for a minute. You don't drop him in too quickly, because if he goes in a Championship, you don't know, he might struggle there. But if you just sort of slowly build him up, so I'm hopeful, mate. I hope he comes back to us, because like I said, he is one hell of a player. So we move over to the right side now, mate.
Yeah, I think the right side only has to be one player. To be fair, he's one of my favourite players we've had, and it's Billy Bowden. He was one hell of a player, and again, it's sort of crazy because he's sort of before he was sort of finding his feet. He was at various clubs. Of course, he had a huge injury before he joined us as well, and it just all fit into place. And he was amazing. And the funny thing about it was so obvious what he was going to do, cut in, but you just couldn't stop it with these step overs and jinking in and everything else. And he was unbelievable. I think everyone loved him, and I think everyone, if you're going to play a winger to cut in on the left, it has to be Bowden. The goals he would score, the skills, just unbelievable. I'm lost for words about how good he was. Because if you think about it as well, it's really been his only sort of time throughout his career where he's found a club and he's stuck there for a few years, and he hasn't ended up with injuries. He was just it just all fitted in well to play in the blue and white quarters. And what a signing that was on a free. Unbelievable player.
I think when I was saying about, can you think of anyone that matches Anderson's sort of natural ability? I wouldn't quite say Bowden's up there, but they're very similar sort of players.
Yeah.
As you were saying, you know what they're going to do often, but stopping it's a completely different thing.
Yeah.
A bit like League One Iron Robin, wasn't he, Bowden, where he cut it. So for your centre mids, are you looking for balance, or have you just gone in there and thought two best players? What are you going for?
Yeah, I've gone in, more the experience, really. One sort of tough tackling leader, and one that can really spray the balls out wide through the middle, go on driving runs, score some class goals as well. So, the first one I've gone in with Stuart Campbell.
Nice.
Stuart Campbell for me, he was just class. He knew what it meant. Again, a local lad as well. And he was just class. Just that leadership, tough tackling midfielder. Set the tone. And for me, I just love Stuart Campbell, proper leader, and he knew what it meant.
Nails, mate. He was absolutely nails, wasn't he? Would he be a shout for your captain as well? Then, do you think?
Yeah, probably be up there. Yeah, he was just class, Stuart Campbell.
And then alongside him, you were saying long striding runs, picking out passes is one man.
Yeah, has to be Chris Lines for me. Yeah, Chris Lines. I just loved him. Again, even now, you still, people say about his sort of tackling, but sort of everything else he'd done sort of leveled it up, really. The way he would, like I said, these out of nowhere, he'd just go on these driving runs and create an opportunity or score a goal. And then his passing range, of course, was brilliant. The amount of worldies he used to score, so many important goals. Of course, coming back in that spell in the conference as well to add that final piece in the midfield to that jigsaw. And I just love Lines. He's such a great bloke, been a Rovers fan, and he knew what it meant. And he was class. Of course, there are a lot of honourable mentions as well. Ollie Clark, again, another one who I thought was very Marmite. A lot of fans liked him, and a lot of fans thought, but for me, again, you seen how much of a big loss he was when he left.
Exactly.
And then, because he had the experience, he gained the experience, tough tackling midfielder. Again, a lot of important goals he scored for us.
He had a hell of a long shot on him, didn't he, Ollie Clark?
I remember. You look at Eastleigh away sticks out to me.
Eastleigh
away. And and then obviously you got Mansell. Even I love Mansell, again, a leader. Everyone was like, is he too old, or is he the right player to come in? But everything, he just suited everything, class. And even go on.
I was just going to say, you need players like him in the changing room, don't you?
Yeah.
And I think I look at the people you're mentioning there. I'll be a bit dubious on Lines, but you think Campbell, Ollie Clark, and Mansell, Joey Barton would love to have them in that changing room, wouldn't they? It'd be exactly their sort of player. Yeah.
I mean, if I could, I would. Even if I could, I would have put Mansell in there as well. But I just think there's too many good strikers that we've had, so I've had to go on with two at the top. But Mansell. Yeah, he was just class money, and then you put the winning penalty into it as well. But I think just for two different midfielders, Linesy, passing goals, the way, he fight for everything, and then Campbell again, leadership, quality, leader. So
that's nice. It's nicely balanced, mate. Like you said, you got one tough tackling. I know he can do other stuff, but that's primarily what he would do. And you got Lyons, who's more the creative outlet. So I think that's a very good midfield, mate. Very good midfield. Now, if we move up to strikers, are you going sort of big man, little man, or is there not really just fit the two best in?
Yeah, I'm gonna fit. I mean, it would be good to do a small man, little man partnership, but for me, the first one, I'm going to go with, I think, the quite obvious one, which is Lambert.
Yeah.
Lambert.
You've got to have it in there, mate, haven't you? You got to.
Yeah. I mean, what else is there to say other than just goals? The goals, and he was just amazing. Currently my all-time favourite player, Ricky Lambert. He was just amazing, the amount of quality goals, the simple goals, the worldies like Luton away, the volley, first time Swindon at home, obviously the goal against City. He was just incredible. You could, and people have questioned his mobility and stuff, but when you're that good, and
it doesn't matter, does it?
It doesn't matter. He was just amazing, and of course we've seen he's gone on to have an incredible career. Get called up to England, scoring his debut, play in the Premier League. And for Rovers, he was just What else is
it's
there
hard to describe it, isn't it? Rovers fans know him, so
amazing.
That's perfect, mate. Who are you putting alongside him?
Well, it was tough. It was tough. You could have a number of players, but for me, I'm going to go with a player that, again, sort of like Lambert as well, and they just complemented each other so well. And I'm going to go for Richard Walker. I'm going to go with Richard Walker. It just stands out. They were just so good together. They were sort of similar, but it just worked out. They were two quality strikers, at the time, and that was it just brings back so many memories, because that was the first, season I started going as well, and they were, as like what an 11-year-old, it just sticks out for me that them few early seasons I started going, they were just brilliant. Again, the goals, Richard Walker would score, just unbelievable. Obviously the ones in the playoff final stick out. The Shrewsbury, the dink, and then the other one as well. And he was just great. I just think they complemented each other so well for me. So, and obviously honourable mentions, Matty Taylor. Of course, everyone could say about going to City, but you can't deny how quality he was for Rovers and what a signing it was at the time on a free. I think 60-odd goals in 3 seasons. Probably as well, if he would have stayed, we might have gone up. The season he left as well. Of course, Clark Harris wasn't here for loads of time, but again, he was just unbelievable. The quality goals he'd score, and he was just so clinical as well. Used to have loads of chances under Coughlin, but he was just quality. And
he's playing for Jamaica now, isn't he?
Yeah, I know. Him and Antonio up front, and Leon Bailey. Yeah, it's great to see. Made it Rovers, wasn't he? Really?
He was floating around, wasn't he? The League 1 and 2 teams, and then he sort of had his breakthrough with us. And that, I saw that on Twitter. I thought, good on you, mate. Fair play to him. But do you think with a striker like Walker or Lambert this season we would have pissed the league? Because I just look at it and think you put them up top with that team, and it would be lambs to the slaughter, mate.
I agree. Just the way they could, like I said, they didn't have the best mobility, but they're just your old-fashioned hold-up players, and once they get a chance, they're going to score. And them imagine them two, this season, it'd have been crazy. It'd have been probably 20 plus goals each. And just quality.
So who have you got controlling this team? Because in some senses it seems clear cut to me, but there is probably 3 decent picks for it, especially after Saturday. But I'm interested to see who you go for here, actually, especially when you're up front.
As manager or
as your manager, yeah.
Manager. It's tough, you know. I'm really thought about the manager, but I think, I mean, it sort of depends. If you want to play the best football, then go with Barton, because even though I think probably the best football I've seen as
I'd agree with that, mate. I think so.
Rovers fan. But it's sort of hard. I'd probably only go with I'd go with DC as well, because most of the time he played a 4-4-2, and you know he was just class when he DC.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe if you ask me next year, or in a few years' time, if Barton's still here and we go up to the championship, and then maybe Barton would go in. But yeah, for now, 4-4-2. DC love 4-4-2, and yeah, just the way I used to set the team up, etc. Then yeah, DC as manager.
Yeah, I think that's hard to argue with, mate. And a question that I asked Tom, the previous guest, just before we wrap it up, is if this team was say they're all on their top form, where could you see this finishing in the Football League? What's the highest you reckon this team could get to?
That's a tough one. Probably top 7 championship. Why not? I think with the with obviously the strikers score you goal for days, the creativity they would have and the fun they would have with Elliot and Billy would be quite mad, really. And then yeah, even at the back, you've got the experience, both leaders, Lockyer, Elliot, and then right back, just Mr. Consistent, Michael Smith, Lee Brown, few free kicks floated in as well, and just again consistency. And then yeah, in goal, Belly, saves for days. So yeah, I think they would do really well if they're all on their prime form. Yeah, they would do well. Probably get them up to the Prem. Why not win the playoffs and get up to the Prem with that team?
Like that, mate. I like that a lot. Just want to say thanks again, mate, for coming on, and to anyone who hasn't been over to Charlie's channel. I'm sure you have, because I mean, what are you on 4,700 now? Is it, or have you pushed over the
4,800? Not 4,000. Yeah, 5K. But yeah, and obviously don't forget to subscribe to obviously Fred as well, because yeah, really good content. And obviously you've not been doing it that long either, and you've already got when I started it was tough, because I wouldn't even you've already done better than what I've done from when I started.
I appreciate that, mate.
Yeah, I really like your channel, and yeah, appreciate you for asking me to come on as well. Yeah, really loved it.
No worries, mate. It's been good, and hopefully we'll do some more videos together. So
yeah,
that was
absolutely.
Cheers, Charlie, mate. Thank you.
Cheers. Not the gas.
Not the gas.